my name is Liza Fiorentinos, and my company is Luludi Living Frames. I launched this company probably about a year and a half ago. Living frames are these beautiful handcrafted frames made out of wood primarily. They hang on the wall and they replace artwork, so it's actually living art. I was very, very lucky to be given a space at Dutch Flower Line on 28th Street, and then we have the cart out at Roosevelt Field Mall in Long Island. Recently, we created a line of terrariums. So we create primarily small, round globe terrariums, and in there we have usually air plants. We also have a beautiful line of moss purses. So I was working in media for 30 years. I loved every minute of it. I mean, media is very special. Most recently, I was in Paris working with CNBC, managing the Paris office, and they have these beautiful living walls. These walls that are made of green attached to the exteriors of building. And when I moved here and I bought an apartment, I thought, how could I bring nature in artistically? And I started fiddling with cardboard boxes. I cut them out, I pasted tissue paper on them, I put plastic LED lights inside and plastic flowers just to see the effect. And then I took some pictures and sent it to a bunch of girlfriends who absolutely loved it. So when I was living in the US, I had gone down to SCORE many times, and SCORE is sort of the Small Business Administration, and they're a wonderful group of people, and they help people like me who come up with a million ideas all the time. So I went down to SCORE with this idea, and their immediate response was, well, why haven't you launched yet?
Yeah, I met Lisa at the main office down at Federal Plaza when she came in looking for information. We started working on a business plan and a marketing plan on developing her business. I was very enthusiastic about her product. I thought it was dynamite.
They helped me roadmap my business. I met Seth, who's an unbelievable mentor, and we sat down and plotted out what my next steps needed to be. So it needed to be a business plan. It needed to be meeting people in the industry, because I had been in advertising for 30 years, so I didn't know any interior decorators, I didn't know any florists, nobody in that interior enhancing space at all.
I gave her ideas on how to contact decorators. I gave her sources of information, but she did the work. She did the research, she did the follow-ups, she made the calls. I mean, she was so intent on this idea, and I thought it was a great idea.
Well, I thought it was a good idea, and while 5 of my friends thought it was a good idea, I really needed to see if it was viable outside. I did a focus group where we invited about 75 people and created a 3-page questionnaire. People could actually walk around the room and look at all these prototypes that I had created. My idea was that after the focus group, I would either go back to media or I would launch my business based on the results of it. And it was such an overwhelming positive response that I decided to launch. After the focus group, it was really no holds barred. It was, you know, full steam ahead, 7 days a week. We opened up like a little store on Etsy. And in between all this, I was trying to reach out to the press, because obviously press can make or break you. I had started with a little watering can as a press gift, and I'd put a little air plant in it. I'd handwrite a note, you know, 60, 70 handwritten notes at a time, and I would send it out to magazines and bloggers because they loved it. I got thank you notes, imagine that, right, from the press. We printed beautiful collateral material, and if there's ever something that you should invest in, it's your collateral material, because that's something that you and your company will be with for years to come. Spend the time with it. In terms of funding, I actually sunk a lot of my money into it. But the things, I also wanted to be independent. I wanted to be able to respond at the drop of a hat if I wanted to go into a different direction with the business. And when it's someone else's money, you've got to think 2 and 3 times, you need approvals, etc. It was a lot of my money, no loans. This is not something I would have ever undertaken without SCORE, and I don't say that lightly, because the point is that these are wonderful, retired business people, and they add so much breadth and depth to your idea. They have experience and they direct you to the right people. They certainly encourage you, and they certainly will tell you when they don't think what you're doing is a good idea. I could not have done it without them, especially not in such a short period of time.
I started volunteering about 15 years ago because I retired very young and I was very bored. Because I had experience in manufacturing, wholesaling, and retailing, I went down to SCORE and interviewed for the job and started working for SCORE. What we're trying to do is get people who are unemployed to train them to go into their own business. And a lot of them doing basically for themselves what they were hired to do for other people. We have the contacts to put them in business. If they're willing to work, they can come as many times as they want. It's free. They can see as many counselors as they want. We try and motivate them to put them in business. It's up to them.
Was it the right decision? Hands down, I launched Luludi. I have never looked back. It was the right decision on so many different levels. The point is that it's yours, and you fine tune it. You turn the dial on the safe until all the cylinders click, and then it's just, yeah, it's an incredible feeling.